Hello, this is the doctor here in the backyard of my granny's house. Sorry for burping. I have some excess regeneration obstructions in my eye. Has to do with cellular regeneration when things happen like that. But or at least not taking care of your body that much, but I don't know. I seem to have aged a little bit. I kind of look like I'm in my 30s or 40s, but it's kind of like that in the new regenerational aspect. Don't know how the connection goes for my connection to whatever timeline I'm on. Look at those trees, they're pretty large. Anyways, working on computational models, grid lattices, space-time coordinates for measuring space-time curvature, and space-time curvature revolving around grid planners. Doing that to develop 15 different computer algorithms from the ground up, from its own OS, but because it would be alternative, it would be its completely different OS. Also working on delving deep into nature and feeling it actually as it is rather than a computeristic ideology, and working with higher states of awareness due to inflation. And this inflation is not typically an inflation you would see with money, but it can be related. It's more like a fractal pattern, and this fractal, self-continuing fractal issues are kind of what happens with our standard vision of time, where we feel like we're slipping through and don't have an accordance based on pixel disposition, how pixels in the effect of our technology makes us feel like time is slipping, but essentially there has to be a smoother way to develop kind of a higher or more inflated state of awareness. But other than that, a lot to work on. Working on extension of framework for Chronovertex. Instead, it will be seen as a hyperlattice of extending grid patterns until I could find out the hierarchy. Or once finding the hierarchy, you can develop a system of non-holocratic models, and then you can change the definition of how you view politics, but not using it so frontally, focusing on conscious politics more through High Council and Arbiters and Sequators, in such a state of community, having a president of a High Council, a vice president of a High Council, moderators of a High Council, and thus places like studios or offices where we can people can work and press their own buttons, thus pressing the buttons capable of, it's kind of like in Lost when a button has to be pressed to save the world, but instead this is used for a kind of combination pattern to see how things can progress or degress or progress, or different perspectives that I found out years ago, but I don't talk about it till now because there's much to talk about. Other than that, social value is not seen inherently as a structure where you inflate sense of ego or perception, but the ego has to be self-identified and work in a more extended lattice, or itself finding out what exactly is the set of the ego, or the perception of what it is. Visually seeing the set sees its opposite, or at least its antithesis, thus working on perception, bodily perception of alternative vision of a fake dark spectrum instead of light spectrum and darkness being the illusion. It's a fake dark spectrum where darkness is a frequency and a wave, but it's seen through shadowy color, forbidding colors, hence. Anyways, that's some stuff I wanted to talk about lately, but there's much more to talk about for the day. So like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.